how to apply liquid products to your lawn. In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about applying different types of liquid products to your lawn so you don't make the mistakes that I did when I first started carrying out. I'm going to give you an overview of this faithful backpack sprayer and some of the products you can use in your lawn to get it looking like this. It's Garden Lawn Care Guy here with 3 DIY lawn care tips to get great results at home. If you're new to the channel and you like lawn care or upping your knowledge about gardening, please consider subscribing to this channel and turn on the notifications to get tons of great information coming your way. In this video, we're going to be teaching you how to use a liquid sprayer and how you can apply different types of liquid products to get a great looking lawn like this. Some of the products that I use in my lawn are linked in the description below. This lawn is one of our viewers' lawns that sent me in this footage, and we're going to be looking at different types of spraying chemicals. It's going to be a liquid spray for this around 85 square meters. I'm going to be using the faithful 16 litre backpack sprayer. I picked this up off Amazon, there's a link to that in the description below, and the sprayer itself I found to be really useful. It's got a quick release strap that you just click under the side here, and it is a bit uncomfortable when you fill it to the top, but you've also got to bear in mind there is quite a lot of water, so if you're planning to use the full tank of water, just bearing in mind that it's a bit of a weight to carry around, but nothing that you shouldn't be able to handle if you're expecting to use one of these and operate one of these sprayers. The top of the sprayer is quite simple. It's just this unscrew threaded cap and a straining system, and the charging pump is just on the side. When it's charged with pressure, it operates this handle, and the handle's got like a lock on and a lock off mechanism, so you can have it permanently on, which is good if you're using in a bigger area. You can leave it running without having to keep the trigger pressed down. You've also got the option to put it on and off with the trigger for more control if you want to pull in some tight spaces or you're going around some corners that you just need that little bit of extra control. These are the nozzles that you get with that spray. You get a couple of different nozzles in the pack. As standard, this yellow one is probably the highest flow rate nozzle with the 4 sort of water jets. You get a double headed nozzle, which is more a fine mist. You get a fan nozzle included. I'm going to be showing you in detail all the different types of spray patterns that come with these nozzles, so stay tuned to the end where there's a little bit of a bonus coming up as well. And this last nozzle is a bit of an extra one purchase, which is the Lawnsmith 1.8 litres per minute blue nozzle, and it does make quite a bit of a difference for your application speed. It gives a really wide fan angle and significantly increases the flow rate of the sprayer. I definitely recommend getting something like this. It just makes things a lot easier. You can fit that nozzle into the standard fitting by removing the washer, plugging it in and just screwing things down. Coming up next is the different types of spraying products that you can use, but before we get into that, I want to show you that the setting part just clips onto the lance. You can lock it down with this screw threaded adjustment and we're ready to go. So let's have a look at the different spray patterns that come from these different hose fittings. First up is the Lawnsmith 1.8 meter flow, super wide angle, really nice and high flow rate, and it makes light work of your spraying duties. This is a really nice addition. It's an extra cost to the sprayer itself, but the difference that it makes to the flow rate of the product is absolutely immense. You can see here, super wide fan, nice high flow rate. It's going to slash your application time right down. The next product is the double mist nozzle. You can see here it's producing a much more finer mist. Here's the high flow rate one that comes with the sprayer. It is again a more misting type, but it's got a much higher flow rate. And also the standard fan nozzle one that comes with the existing sprayer. You can see it's got a nice fan on it. It's nowhere near as wide as the Lawnsmith, and it doesn't have the same flow rate, but it'll still get the job done. So let's take a look at the different products that we can use to get a lawn looking nice and healthy. This is a product called Solugreen. It's a high nitrogen feed, and it's for application on lawns over 4 months old, so don't use it on a new lawn. This is going to give a nice nitrogen boost and lots of new growth. I probably wouldn't be using it towards the end of the year because you don't really want to be pushing that new growth, but for the start of the year and into the summer, that's a really nice product. The product that we're going to be applying today is this Granular Fertiliser sulphate. There's a couple of different things that you'll get from applying a product like this, and it depends a lot on the application setting that you're using. You can use it to green up the lawn or harden the turf and help potentially reduce some worm casts coming to the surface. This is also some autumn slow release lawn fertiliser, which can't be applied using the sprayer, and it'll be a hand or sprayer. And lastly, the seed that's being used on this lawn is the Lawnsmith Classic grass seed, and you can see it's striped up really well. I know this lawn's really nice and healthy. It's got a mixture of dwarf perennial rye, some fescues, some chewing fescues, and a small bit of brown top bent. So let's have a look at measuring out the ferrous sulphate. For this particular product, there's a setting just there on the left, green up 50 to 100 grams, and turf hardening and worm cast reduction. We're going to be using the worm cast reduction set sort of ratio because we've got a lot of worm cast, especially due to the heavy amount of rains that we've been having. So it's saying for 100 square meters we want to be using the 50 to 200 grams and mixed with 8 to 12 litres of water in a knapsack sprayer. We're just under 100 square meters for this back lawn, but when you add the front lawn into it, it takes us to around 100 square meters. So we'll be using a setting that lands somewhere in the middle between 150 to 200 grams. We can weigh this out using some PPE and do it carefully by making sure you don't get caught using the kitchen scales. So we'll put a couple of spoons in here. For my own personal lawn, I've been using Pro Clean Iron Sulphate, which I've left a link for in the description below. But for this particular product, we can get a good half a glassful there, which is going to be close to what we need. Maybe another couple of teaspoons. And we're ready to go. So with that, we're looking at 177 grams. So the next step, let's get it in the sprayer and have a look at putting it down on the lawn. Before we do the spraying, just a quick overview of the lawn itself. You can see it's in pretty good nick, loads of nice green stripes. But what we're looking at here is you can see some of the worm casts that are just coming through to the surface. And the idea behind the iron sulphate is it makes it less favourable for the worms to want to come to up to the surface. But you're also going to be giving the turf a nice bit of hardening and a green up to the lawn as well. So let's fill up the sprayer and get down to the application. Like with most products that I'm applying, I want to be doing multiple passes, and on this lawn 85 square meters, it's enough for me to do an up and down type of pass and get one in diagonally as well. You want to be careful on hard surfaces using a ferrous iron product, because it is going to stain hard surfaces, the iron. And always use any type of product in a sprayer like this in accordance with the label and any regulations that may apply in your area. Some products may recommend you wear PPE, such as some gloves or things like that. Now here's the bonus in this video. Take a look at this beast. This is a Hater 41 Pro, and it looks absolutely fantastic. This is a really nice bit of kit. It's a rotary mower, and I'm hoping to get a review out of one of these coming up soon. If you'd like to hear more from me, please check out some of my most recent videos and consider subscribing to my channel for the Hater review and more great lawn care content.